And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good morning, my futures family. It's time for the market prep. Thursday, March 16th. My name is John Hogan. Thanks for trusting me with your time as always. We are going to be seeking accurate context, always thinking about risk management and staying patient in our trading today. We've got some economic numbers already out this morning. The housing numbers, starts and permits, both considerably higher than expected. After a small rise last time, we were looking for 1.31 million starts. It came out 1.45 million starts, 1,340,000 permits came out 1,524,000 permits. So some considerable rise in housing, at least the numbers that's going to be available. Maybe that's a good thing, a little extra supply. Jobless claims considerably lower than expected. We were looking for 205 initial jobless claims, 192. Philly Fed, we were looking for minus 15.6, came up minus 23.2, and import prices dropped by 0.1%. That's what we're getting out of that information. What it all means is going to be digested by traders and investors today. Night gas we still have coming out at 9:30 this morning, and at 8:15 the ECB policy release comes out. They're expecting, at least before a 50 basis point rate hike, some are saying maybe 25 basis point rate hike. We're all going to have to wait to see and find out how that all comes out. Apparently Credit Suisse has gotten some help a little bit from the Swiss National Bank. Apparently they're going to loan them up to $54 billion. It's a loan, they say. Euro's bounced a little bit off of that. The U.S. stocks are set to open to mixed. NASDAQ just peaking down below settlement. They're all looking like they're going to open lower. We've got the Dow futures down 122 points. The S&P's down 13 points. And the NASDAQ down. Hey, it's back higher again. 1 point higher. So still a little looking like a mixed opening here. We are looking for, of course, hang on a second. Okay. Looking for, of course, where was I? Looking for, a kind of a mixed open here, maybe mixed open lower. NASDAQ has certainly been presenting as the strongest of the three amigos, I like to call them, the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. Crude prices have been digesting basically all night long. Let's see if they're still doing that on the charts here shortly. Yeah, it looks like they're still kind of digesting. Below $70. Interesting stuff, right? Tomorrow is quadruple witching day as U.S. futures join the fun and expiration. And we're looking forward to getting rollover finished with a lot of these markets. Crude and rollover still trading the April contract here today. Probably be looking at May tomorrow. Check the volume. I won't be here. I'll have to mention to JD that we want to keep an eye on that for you guys. Monday, the equity rollover will officially be over. We're in rollover in gold as well. We're going to roll from the April contract right past May to June at some point next week. I'll be keeping an eye on that for everybody as well. So got a few rollovers to get through in the next few days. And then we can kind of look more readily at some of the volume and open interest information that we discuss just about every day here on the Prep. VIX this morning is up about 1%. 26.48 last I checked was 27.54 this time yesterday. The dollar index is down a little bit at 104.40. It's 104.56 is where it was yesterday at this time. And the yield on the 10 years, Treasury yields have taken a little bit of a dive here. 3.45, 3.45% currently when it was 3.63% at this time yesterday. Make sure that you hit the lucky like button, share, comment, question, feedback, heckling, and love are always welcome here on the Market Prep. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get notified when we do go live. And again, I'm going to be off tomorrow. My good friend, the taller, better looking, and smarter John Doherty is going to be here to present the Market Prep for all of you. It's been a while, I think, since you've seen JD, and I know he's looking forward to seeing all of you. And I'll be out of town, but I'll be watching. I hope you will be too. Today, my 27th wedding anniversary. I know she's not watching. She's busy at work right now, but Donna, I love you, and it's been 27 blissful years, of course, right? Yeah, relationships are hard. They take effort. They take, effort, right? I mean, you all have to give and take. Sometimes it's a 70-30, sometimes it's 30-70. If you can say after a year or a few years that you've been pretty much even, and I'm not a scorekeeper, but you everybody has to feel, important in the relationship and cared for in the relationship. And I think Don and I have done a pretty good job of that. I used to tell my father-in-law when he used to say, how do you have such a good relationship? And I used to tell him that it's easy. I know my role. She's management. I'm labor. Simple as that. Simple as that. So, blessings to all of you in your relationships. Of course, we, like to see things continuing to succeed for everybody in your friendships and your marriages and your trading and in your life. It takes effort. So, why don't we jump into the charts here? We do have Make Hogue Money right after the prep this morning, and I want to go ahead and put the link in to register if you want to join in the Zoom meeting. Now we've got a way, I found out, to pull everybody in YouTube, so you're going to be able to vote now too, which I love that. And here's the link to get into the YouTube channel, but of course you can still watch it into the Zoom meeting, the Zoom webinar or whatever it is. But you can still watch it on YouTube. There is maybe about a 10-second delay behind the markets in that regard, but we'll look forward to seeing all of you there. We are making some changes to the Market Prep and Make Hogue Money. It's going to be a little bit longer of an opportunity for us to spend some time together. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have lots of guests and other people involved in this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun and hopefully informative and helpful for all of you. That's the goal here. Is we are looking forward to all of your success, and we believe so many of you can achieve the success that you're looking for, and we're again looking forward to that. And I've begun to ramble and feel a little emotional about all of this, so I'm going to move on to the charts so that you don't see me cry. Just kidding. All right, let's get down to business here so we can get to make Hogue money and you guys can make me some money. I got a lot to pay for this weekend. All right. Here's the daily in the S&Ps. You know what? I didn't. There's a lot of comments here. I want to I forgot to say good morning to everybody, and I hate when I do that. Jay was the first one in the room. He wins the prize. Alejandro, good morning, and Lacey, the center of the universe, has been kind of lazing around as the center of the universe probably would. Timothy Ainsley, good morning. Brian, Christopher, Jason, Charles March, John, good morning. Bill Phillips, Vince, my guy, Kevin, too big to bail morning, right? Andy Bleed, Rusty Golfer, Jason Lewis, NASDAQ, Stephen, Leslie, good morning. George, center of the universe, says good morning back to all of you. Biban. Bill, Eddie Prince, good morning from sunny Caribbean island of Antigua and Barbuda. Well, you're in a lucky place. It's about 40 degrees here. No snow on the floor, but some rain in the possible forecast. Stephen, good morning. Terry Hagel Matters, good morning. Travis, good morning. Sarah Hall, accurate context. Yes, that's what we are seeking for sure. Urban, Joe, good morning. Zerain, thank you all for the congratulations. Scott Saw, Miami, or is it Miami? Renato, good morning. Kevin, thank you. Ainsley, thank you all for the anniversary. Charles, I just saw when I was going into the charts what you said here. Congratulations on 27 years. Coming into our 41. Works to have a best friend as a partner. 100%. 100%. My wife and I were friends and good friends, close friends for probably 8 years before anything romantic even happened. So we were friends first, and then, well, it all started with a kiss for luck. 21 years for you, Ainsley. Nice job. Lee Trevino, thank you. Fred, Shy, good morning. Robert, we love you too. We love you. I love you too. Too humble. You guys are gonna find out eventually. I am a softie. 100%. Fred, Andy Bleed, JT. All right, now let's get into the charts here. All right. My wife says I'm a mush. All right. Short time frame balance remains. Short time frame. It's only a few days. She would go see Zeppelin with me, I'm pretty sure. Although she did not want to go see Get the Lead Out, which is a Zeppelin tribute band that I took my son to a couple of weekends ago. And they're excellent. You close your eyes, you think it's Zeppelin. Okay, so back to the business here. Short time frame balance remains. The weekly kickoff low that we stabbed down to on Monday has left excess. A lot of that excess is, in the lower half of the range for the week this week. The upper range of this area of balance happens to be the neckline from the potential Head and Shoulders. You see, extending this neckline. We've traded to it and rejected it a couple of times already this week. Couldn't get to it yesterday. We're in the middle of this area of balance today. We lost 7,000 in open interest, but wait till you see what Monday looks like. We're going to lose 500,000 in open interest, and that's just because of rollover. Then we can start depending on that information with a little bit more frequency. So balance rules and breakout rules apply. Well, we're pretty far away from the major extremes of this area of balance. We'd be waiting probably all day and maybe never even get an opportunity to trade. Yesterday, we were pretty much range bound for the better part of the morning session, and recognizing that offered several decent opportunities for trades. Take a look. So we know, yeah, we talked about it yesterday. We're in range. What are we looking to do? We're looking to fade extremes. Well, once the early extremes were established in the morning session yesterday, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see here. So the initial low was here, the high was up here. Every time we got up to that high, we faded. We fell back. If you were going to be trading range-bound rules after the A high was put in, you could trade up against that A high and pull and get a pullback, basically back to the point of control every time it did that until finally it broke out. So range-bound rules are applying in longer time frame. What are we doing today? We are so far relatively in short time frame here before the open, range bound inside the range from yesterday. So there is a sense that this area up here is the higher end of a short time frame two-sided sideways auction, and our low from the overnight is the other extreme of that. So we're going to see what happens as we open and we're in make whole money to see if we have opportunities at either of these levels. Either of these levels. Almost looks like we've got a head and shoulders here now too, doesn't it? And if that's the case, then we've been almost kind of mimicking the daily chart. If this is our neckline, well, this area of balance that we're currently in has been rejected at that same trend line. So there's going to be, I think, some interesting opportunities that we're going to see here in Make Hogue Money and in the trading day today. But again, I'm going to try and stay patient. There's, value is lower, so we seem to be trying to drag value higher, but we've been perhaps trying to do that all week with little success. It is rollover. Remember, our longer time frame traders are working on getting a cheap roll more than trying to be directional. Here's the profile from yesterday. Here's the excess from Monday. Low excess low here, but I'm more interested in the low excess high here. This is a poor high. A poor high is when the price looks one tick above the previous high and then falls back. So this is a poor high. It's likely to be revisited in the regular trading hour session. We're right at the low of the area of balance that we've been in. It's the low of the overnight session. We'll see if we kind of fall back in and reaccept value from yesterday, which would lean, I think, more towards a range-bound type day today. Most of the information is out. 8:15, we're waiting for the ECB rate announcement. Is that going to affect us, and if so, how much? Take a look at crude now. Look at this. I mean, lower highs, lower lows, coiling, breaking out to the downside. There's a lot of fundamental reasons that this is happening that I've been trying to get to read about. Thank you very much, Kevin, by the way. Been a busy time right now. We've got all kinds of work going on in the house, and we're going away for the next couple of days. So, this breakout, technically, this is what happens. When we talk about range-bound trade, we fade the extremes. Fade, 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 fade to the upside, fade, fade, fade to the downside. Now we've broken out of this. We go with these. It's showing signs of acceptance. The volume yesterday was big, especially knowing it's in rollover, and we're probably going to be changing to the May contract tomorrow. Right? So what are we looking at? We've come a long way in a short period of time. We've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4. We started the week right up here at the 76.50, let's say. We're $9 below that in a straight line. Here's the 30. So here's the week. We've left a little bit of sloppy structure above the market here. The market is inside range, inside value with very little overnight inventory with which to speak of. These are one of those days, even though the market's been directional, that I'm going to try and stay patient and expect to find possibly better trade location as the day goes on, because the perception of value overnight of a barrel of crude oil hasn't changed that much. Now we've got an unfilled gap, we've got unchecked point of control, we've got another unchecked point of control, we've got weekly kickoff level here. 73.90 is the weekly kickoff low. We broke through it, finding resistance here. There's still lots of visuals and sloppy structure above this market. So it makes me a little bit nervous as far as we've come to continue to try and barrel into shorts here. I'd be looking for some sort of pullback before I'll be looking to do that, which is another reason why I want to stay patient today. May just be a hangover day. Dan Hodgman used to call these days when there was a big move and it would just kind of hang out one day. That's the hangover day. The market sits on the couch, orders greasy food, and drinks lots of pop. TPO chart. Yesterday, normal variation trading day, very neutral. Very neutral. Is this neutral normal variation day signaling a slowing of the downside auction? We got a IB high, initial balance high is the high of the regular trading hours session. We had several extensions of the range to the downside, but we were unable to really bring points of control lower, either in volume or time. So this ends up looking like a very balanced day and opening inside of a balanced day. What does that tell us? Perhaps it's going to be one of those days where we're going to be better off looking for trade locations maybe after the establishment of the initial balance. Not going to be doing a reflection today, but at the end of the day today, if you do trade crude, and knowing that we opened in range and in value, do me a favor and do yourself a favor and check and see if old Hogue here was right in the fact that the best trade location did come later on in the session, maybe after the first half hour. Okay. I'll see if I can remember to check that out on Monday. And you guys can always remind me to, look at what happened today and if it was even close to a primary hypothesis, which is what I would kind of call what I just talked about in crude oil is primary hypothesis. Be patient, wait for the extremes of the day session and work those extremes. Here's the NASDAQ. NASDAQ. Nowhere near weekly kickoff low. Very relatable to the S&Ps, but again, they're like children. They're born of the same parents but different personalities, right? So 3+ weeks we've now been in this area of balance. In the S&Ps, we're looking at a continuation of a head and shoulders to the downside. We're not looking at that here. We're in balance. We're in range. We added 3,900 in open interest yesterday. Again, it's rollover, so that's going to be very blurry. Volume is also split between the two contracts, so that is also very blurry. But this market has been presenting as the strongest of the three majors, the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ. There's no banks in it. Last week's high and low are the bigger extremes. What are we looking at on the 30-minute chart? Well, we're probably opening above value, but in range, very little overnight inventory. Patience. Was there any major response to the economic numbers that just came out? Maybe. I mean, the NASDAQ is still pretty much trading at settlement. No major change in the perception of value. Patience. So here's the day yesterday. An attempt to move higher. did not provide a double distribution trend day. It's a normal variation trend day that's a little extreme to the downside. Our points of control below the midpoint, relatively close to the bottom quarter. Is this telling us that the auction, maybe in short time frame, may be tiring a little bit? Doesn't look like it today. We looked above this in the overnight session, but now we're back in range. We get back into value. We're going to slow things down and again wait for better trade locations as the day goes on. Neither the high nor the low of the initial balance managed to be an extreme of the regular trading hour session yesterday. Traded both sides. Traded both sides. Here's the initial balance. Looked lower, looked higher, ended up, if we would have stayed open, maybe we would have seen a little bit more range-bound activity, but that's what happens. And this is a very small initial balance here, it looks like, for the NASDAQ. Doesn't take a lot of energy to extend outside a small initial balance. It's like knocking over a lamp. A very wide initial balance is like trying to push over a pyramid. So let's take a look at gold. Gold is a fascinating market these days. Rollover is building. We're going to switch probably one day next week. We're going to go right past the May contract. We're going to go into the June contract. For now, we're still in April. Switch day again someday next week. We've seen this market continuing this move to the upside with plenty of space to continue. The upside auction is in progress, but now it's becoming more difficult to read and to try and rate the efficiency of this auction process because of rollover. We lost 2,800 in open interest yesterday. Again, is that long liquidation? Is it short covering? Or is it rollover? Is it live or is it Memorex? Is it live or is it Memorex? Bull flag on the gold 2-hour chart. Okay. Where are we? Well, we've got a little bit of overnight longs here. Those overnight longs seem to be so far comfortable with what's been going on in the regular trading hours. We opened in range and value. We're looking to accept above range and value for continuation. We're about out of visuals above till we get much higher. We've got a little bit of sloppy structure down below. By sloppy, I mean we've left naked points of control. Here's one. We went right through a naked point of control here. We've left a gap. We've got another naked point of control right here. And before we would get to our weekly kickoff low. Now, that doesn't mean price has to go there. It just means I'll be keeping an eye on it when it becomes important. Okay, so again, opening in range and in value, I'm going to suggest trying to stay patient. Whenever we have that, we should probably make sure and look to see what kind of percentages were right on that. Sometimes the market opens right in the middle of value and drives. I'm not seeing that there's any impetus for the market to do that today. We've got the ECB announcement coming out here in just about 1 minute. I'm going to continue discussing this and we'll keep an eye on what happens then. Well, yesterday, here's the gap, naked point of control, normal variation trading day, mainly neutral. Well, here we are, kind of neutral. Be patient. Look for better trade locations as the day goes on. As the day goes on. Wait seconds here. Dun, dun, dun. What are they going to do? Late getting the number here. Oh, it's only 8:14. All right. Take a look at the euro. Going around the world yesterday, high to low with the Credit Suisse situation. That seems to have settled things down. I'm looking for a hangover day for the euro again today. It's going to order some Portillo's. It's going to have some cheese fries, maybe a couple of beers for a little bit of the hair, hair of the dog that bit it, and chill. Yesterday was expiration for this contract as well. We lost 101,000 contracts in expiration. That's expiration. It's not losing 110 or 101,000 longs. The March contract expired. Here we are. Overnight inventory reconciled. Moving around a little bit here. We've got the rate 3.5%. They went with a 50 basis point rate hike. Interesting. Well, no overnight inventory. It's all in digestion. What are they going to do about this? What are they going to say about this? Here's the TPO chart from yesterday. We're watching to see what happens here. Normal variation trading day, IB, extreme at the high, almost a normal trading day. A normal trading day is where the initial balance, which was wide, remains the upper and lower extreme of the regular trading hour session. So you can see this wide initial balance was difficult to tip. Just kind of rotating back and forth here. Let's take a look at the 10-year, and then we'll get moving here to get to make money. The yields took another hit on the chin on the overnight. Acceptance now above weekly kickoff high. It's been kind of the high and the low for the last couple of the open and close, I should say, for the last couple of sessions. We got some decent volume on this push to the upside here, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday we lost 4,800 in open interest, and that tells me some long liquidation, some profit taking came in, which actually takes selling power away from the market and adds it when they try to get back into the marketplace. This was yesterday. So here we are, we're kind of holding above. We're kind of running out of space a little bit here to the upside. Here's the 30-minute. So we got a bunch of sloppy structure down below here as well. We've opened in range, we've opened in value. That's going to have me kind of look for an opportunity to look for trade location as the day goes on, as I always mention. There's a couple of naked point of controls still above for us to reach, and once we reach those, I don't see that there's anything else for this market to reach to the upside, unless, of course, we start cutting rates, which is a distinct possibility at the end of the year. Here's the TPO chart. In range and in value. Patience. No major changes, at least not yet. We'll take a quick look at the natural gas. Still sticky. Rejection from last week's low. Still sticky. Overnight inventory? No. Out of range? No. Out of value? Yes. We have the nat gas release today as well. Yesterday, a B-shaped profile with no gap here. We closed the gap to the tick. We lost 10,000 in open interest. A lot of long liquidation. Weak low here. Not a very strong low here. In range and in value. Again, stay patient. Good to see everybody. We're going to get into make money pretty quickly here. I'm a little bit tardy, and we will get started. It's good to see everybody again. Didn't get to say good morning to Anne Marie. Good morning, Anne Marie. And we'll see everybody here in just a couple of minutes here and make money. Christopher, good morning. Koss, good morning. Chad, all right, we'll see you here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take our deep breath as always, though. Humble, grateful, creative, centered. You have a great trading day if I don't see you. There's no reflection at the end of the day today. We should be doing the podcast. And then again tomorrow, we have John Doherty doing the market prep. Looking forward to seeing him. I know he's looking forward to seeing everybody. So trade well, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Have a great day.